I remember we were assaulting and clearing the enemy and going over the berm and all that. We had
Okay.
received fire from a makeshift little bunch of huts, which is like a little village or something. And we had dismounted our Amtraks, and we had set up our firing positions, and the Humvees had came up to support us with their Mark 19s and 50 cals and heavy guns and all that. And we had got into a firefight with these guys in this little village.
Hey, healthy gamers, this is Jack here bringing you a special 4th of July post. This one's going to be a longer form interview with Robert, and Robert has just an amazing story to tell. I think you'll find it very interesting, and there's going to be some, I think you're going to be surprised at what you see in this interview. And before we get started with the interview, I just wanted to put this on your consciousness. There's a thread over on the forums in the Diablo 3 section. It's titled Connect and Play with Bones. Bones is Robert's forum name on here, and I think it would just be really cool for the community to come together and help him through Inferno and really improve his experience in Diablo. Today was his first time playing co-op, and he's a great guy. He spent his entire life in service to our country, and I think we all owe it to him to support him and make his gaming experience as enjoyable as possible as he recovers. And this will make a whole lot more sense once you actually watch the interview, but just wanted to put that on your consciousness.
Basically, I had a car crash. I went out to dinner with some of my coworkers. I was a police officer for 20 years, and I was working on retirement. All I know is I went out to dinner with some friends that I work with, and I don't even remember the evening. A lot of my memory is gone, and I was in a coma for, I wish my wife was here. She has all the information on it. I think it was weeks or days. One of my problems, my understanding of time, frame of time is off a little bit. That's one of my big weaknesses. What seems like 5 minutes to me is in reality hours or days to my wife. She sets me straight a lot of times. I think I was in a coma for a few weeks. It could have been a few days. For some reason, 13 stick in my head. 13 hours, 13 days. I don't know. All I know is I woke up in the hospital and some strange lady was talking to me. I didn't even know who it was. It was my wife, and I didn't even know I was married. And we had just gone to Jamaica and got married a month before. And we were actually that week preparing for a wedding reception that we were doing in the backyard that weekend. I got a little bit of a scar on my head here where they had cut a hole in my skull to alleviate the swelling and the bleeding, and that's where a lot of my memory and brain issues come in, is from the bleeding. It's basically a concussion type injury, but it didn't heal 100% properly. So I have a lot of loss of movement on my left side, and it doesn't work the way it should. So I'm still working on grip strength and dexterity, because before I couldn't even use this hand to play the games with. Wow. I spoke to my wife, and she had me doing brain teaser books every day, and it was boring as hell, to be honest with you.
Sounds like it.
And I told her, I was like, you know what would be more stimulating and enjoyable for me is to get on the computer and try to learn to play some of these games again. I was playing Star Wars: The Old Republic at the time, and needless to say, I had definitely... I lose my train of thought sometimes.
Yeah, no worries.
Definitely wasn't up to the par I was before my crash. But I managed to get done what I wanted to get done. But one of the big things I have is I got to take things a lot slower than what they were before my crash. I can't do real. I have a lot of problem multitasking at one time. So if I get too much going on at one time or things happen too fast, I get a little overwhelmed with it. But that's part of my therapy for this, and Diablo actually works perfect for me. It goes at a slow enough pace that I can follow it and comprehend it, which is what was great about your website. Is I was having a hard time understanding a lot of this terminology and the way Inferno works. And your videos were really informative and helpful. And after watching several of them, I can't tell you how many different videos I watched trying to piece things together, things started clicking a little bit better. And I started to comprehend. I knew then what I should be looking for on the auction house, how to properly buy what I needed. So I was at the point that I was about to quit playing the game. I had already leveled 5 different characters up to Inferno level. None of them could even get to the Skeleton King. I couldn't even get to the Skeleton King. So I was on my 5th character, which is the monk, and I saw your website. It made sense to me, and your videos seemed really good. And so I started following the video and the website, and it actually helped. I got to Inferno, and for the first time, I had no problems. I went to the Skeleton King, beat the Skeleton King, on my way to the Butcher now, and I'm making good progress. I know what I should be looking for in the auction house, and I know how to build my character the way he should be built, because I didn't understand how all the resist stuff and lifesteal and what I should be stacking and putting in sockets. All that was a little confusing, but with the help of your videos and website, I knew, or I was able to follow it a lot better. So
that's cool.
That's what made me write a message to you to thank you for your help, which is what triggered this whole contact with you.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like I said, your message, it really touched me. Like, that right there, that's been worth everything. I'm doing everything. But yeah, can you talk a little bit more about just how kind of video games and Diablo helps you right now?
I think it's helping a lot. My wife thinks it's helping a lot. I actually was divorced before from the same woman. I just remarried her. We've been actually married 13 years. We were married, I think, 11 or 12 years first time. And she would slap me right now in the back of my head for hitting. But I always had a problem getting the right dates on that, even before my crash.
We won't show her this video.
Yeah, don't show her this video.
Yeah.
In the divorce court, the judge asked me how long we were married, and Neil said I had the wrong date. But since starting to play these games in Diablo and following your site, I think it's come a lot better. Even my dad has been the biggest supporter of me out of anybody. My dad and I had a real rocky relationship for a number of years, and since my crash, he would constantly come down to the hospital and check on me, send my wife a little money if she needed help or whatever to try to get the bills straight. It's been a long struggle for these last 2 years, but my dad calls me every morning and every evening to check on me and talk to me, and he says that he can see a huge improvement lately. He says I definitely have a little ways to go, but he can see an improvement over where I really was initially. but I think it's really helped a lot. My dad says he can see a big difference. He talks to me twice a day. So the game definitely makes me
sorry, just say so the game is just it's helping your brain recover and function better?
Yes, I think so. This is my brain therapy.
That's really great. That's great. Well, actually, yeah, let's do this. So I think it'd be really cool. You said you've been mostly playing solo. I think we can get the community around and get a bunch of people to come play with you and help you out through Inferno. That'd be something you're interested in?
Yeah, I'd be willing to try it. I've never played co-op before because they had that scare initially where, people were hacking people's accounts and stealing all their stuff, and that's always been kind of leery of it, but I'll give it a try. I trust you enough that I'd be willing to try that.
Well, cool. Yeah, I'll just direct them over to the forums with this video, and I bet there's going to be a ton of people that really good people want to play with you, help you out. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I've never done a co-op game before, so that'd be interesting.
Really? Cool. Well, let's do one right after this interview. Let's go kill the butcher. We can do that.
Sounds good, man.
But, okay. Yeah, now let's talk about your Marine Corps experience. Let's talk about that.
Well, I was a Marine Corps infantry soldier back in 1987 to 1991. I did 4 years in the Marine Corps. And actually, let me pick my phone up here. I'll show you. This was me back in, I don't know if you can see the picture of me.
Yeah, we can see it.
Me back in my dress blues, back in my graduated boot camp way back in the days. But
cool.
I was 0311, which is a grunt. I served in barracks duty in Japan, in Sasebo, Japan, for a couple years, and then I was assigned to 2nd Battalion, 2nd Marines on Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, for a couple years.
Wow, cool. Yeah, I'm infantry right now in the National Guard, 240 gunner.
Rock.
That thing's heavy. Yeah. So cool. What I don't know, you got any cool stories, or what's your favorite thing about the Marines?
One story I can remember that sticks with me, even with my brain injury. I've forgotten things and things have gotten confused a bunch, but I remember when we were deployed to Saudi Arabia, or Kuwait actually, in Desert Storm, Desert Shield. I remember we were assaulting and clearing the enemy and going over the berm and all that. Okay. We had received fire from a makeshift little bunch of huts, which is like a little village or something. And we had dismounted our Amtraks, and we had set up our firing positions, and the Humvees had came up to support us with their Mark 19s and 50 cals and heavy guns and all that. And we had got into a firefight with these guys in this little village. And at the time, I was close to my lieutenant. And I remember my lieutenant. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. But really, really good guy. But they gave us all these pamphlets and taught us phrases in Arabic to yell at the Iraqis to try to get them to surrender. And they told them crazy stuff about us as part of their PSY-war. They would tell them to become a Marine, we had to eat a baby.
Well, that's true, right?
It was crazy stuff. They were scared to surrender to us. So they would fight to the death. So we were in a small firefight with this guy, and he was holed up in a little tin shack. And we had a tank support. It was an M60 tank rolled up with us. And the lieutenant was yelling in Arabic, or they had an interpreter. I can't remember. Somebody was yelling in Arabic at the hut for the guy to surrender. It was basically instructions of come out without a weapon and surrender. And you could hear him yelling back in Arabic at us, and of course none of us understood it. And the lieutenant looked at the interpreter and said, "What did he say?" And he said, Ahmed was his name. Because Ahmed's crazy. He says he's going to not surrender. He's going to kill you. And about that time, we received some more automatic weapons fire from the shed. And he fired an AK-47 at us and was yelling something in Arabic. And you could hear the Allah phrase in it. And Lieutenant says, "Well, Ahmed's going to die." And he looked over at the M60 commander, and he says, "Take him out." And the guy, of course, had a beehive canister loaded, and he leveled that little shed, with that beehive round. That was my service in the Marine Corps. I did a Desert Storm, Desert Shield, got out in 1991. Got out of the Marine Corps, tried to figure out what I was going to do with my life. I did my 20 years here in Ocala, and then I had my crash. I was just a regular uniform officer for a number of years, and then I did a stint in the Detective Bureau. I did property crimes investigations, drug task force investigation, did some different things with them. I was a detective in the task force, and then I went back into property crimes and then eventually major crimes, which worked my way into a homicide detective. So once I got tired of that stuff, I went back into uniform and decided I was going to be a uniform detective again for a while. My dad had cancer at the time, and I wanted to spend more time with him. I can remember a lot of things that make me chuckle, and the way things happen might not be the entirely correct way. But a lot of good memories, a lot of good guys. I miss them. I miss my job with them. They were totally behind me, supported me. My sergeant was so supportive of me. He actually came to my house, woke my wife up to tell her I was in a bad car crash, and drove her in his marked patrol vehicle an hour to the hospital where I was life-flighted. And my squad actually all went to the hospital that night. It was on our night off, and because they didn't expect me to survive very long at the hospital, so my whole squad went to the hospital to be there, which I don't know what it would have helped, if things went bad on me. But the guys I worked with were real supportive. I have a lot of good memories with them. I miss them.
Wow, that's cool. So I guess the question that came to me listening to your story is, how has the accident, how has that changed your perspective on life? What kind of wisdom has that given you?
It definitely has humbled me and made me, if I had any doubts or if I was unsure of my wife in any way, it is gone. I am so in love, and I don't want to say but I owe my wife everything right now. She has been so strong, and I can't even begin to tell you the crap she's had to put up with. Without her, I don't think I could have gone through half of what I went through. So
wow.
It's made me appreciate her and her love and everything I have.
Do you have any thoughts or words you want to just tell gamers in general, maybe relating to Diablo 3 or just with your whole experience? What comes to mind?
Well, I haven't experienced the multiplayer part of it yet. However, I'm a little disappointed with Diablo 3 as far as it's not exactly what I was expecting, but thanks to your website and thanks to your videos, I'm actually getting pumped up on it again. Things are actually being a lot more enjoyable, and Inferno is definitely gear dependent. I can't even tell you how gear dependent it is. I'm living on disability income right now, so I don't have money that I can go buy super gear on the auction house. I'm having to farm it and try to do it the hard way. Don't get frustrated or pissed off on it. Keep struggling at it. It's gear dependent. You got to learn how the resist work. You got to get your gear straight. If you go in there like I did with all my other classes initially, you're going to get face rolled. I mean, it sucks. I like it now. I mean, I'm actually really enjoying it. I wish it was more than it was, but it has actually helped me in my therapy a lot and helped me with my disability a lot better than. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. Enjoy it, I guess, is all I can say. I am very appreciative of it, and it's my therapy. That's all I can say. It's helped me a lot.
Well, that's cool. Let's get you connected with these players so you can, chat with people in game and play some co-op and yeah, maybe you can join us in Guild Wars 2 too. I think that'd be really cool.
I gotta tell you one thing though. I have really bad problems on my left hand, which my typing still is not what it used to be. I'm basically having to hunt and peck with my right hand. If you do co-op, do y'all use like a headset, Ventrilo or TeamSpeak or something?
Yeah, we could get. I'm sure lots of people have Ventrilo servers. We can get that set up and
It's a
do that.
lot
That'd be
easier
great.
for me for communication to use voice communication versus having to type. I'm not trying to be lazy. I just have a hard time using my left hand. Beyond that, just all I can say is bear with me. If I start getting a little frustrated or I'm a lot slower, and plus if I type, I can't keep running, so I have to stop and type. So all I can say is just bear with me, be patient, and I appreciate your support so far.
Well, cool. Yeah, let's do that. We'll get a thread set up. We'll get a Ventrilo server for you and just get you hooked up with some players and get some co-op. It's a lot more fun. And we'll go.
I look forward to it. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to gaming with y'all.
Well, cool. Well, that was everything I had. Do you have anything, Robert?
No, I just, like I originally made my contact with you, I wanted to thank you and your website for your clear help. I want to thank you for your service. God bless the troops, man. I really appreciate your work and what you do. And your website really helped me. I was basically butting my head against a wall trying to work my way through Google and different websites trying to find out what I was doing wrong. And when I found your website, it really clicked with me. I mean, it was clear enough and concise enough. It actually opened my eyes to what I was doing wrong and helping me understand things. So thank you, and thank your website, man. It's been a big help.
Well, very cool. That really does mean a lot to me. And I just want to thank you for your time for this interview. And let's go kill the butcher.
Rock on, bud. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Robert.
Bye.
Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you go on over to my website at thehealthygamer.com, there's a link over to the thread where you can connect with Robert and help him out in game. And then this is really important. I really want to ask you to please help spread his story. All you have to do is fill in your first name, last name, your email address, and then hit submit, and it will send a pre-formatted email over to Diablo Inc. gamers, and hopefully they can pick up this story and get out Robert's story to thousands of other Diablo players. I think it would really help players get some perspective on the game and give them a good human interest story and see all the other diversity of players in the game. And then one last thing, let's just post comments in support of Robert. I want to show this to him in a few days with hundreds upon hundreds of comments showing support for him from the Diablo community, and I think that would be really cool. So again, really appreciate you sticking around to the end. Hope you had a wonderful 4th of July, and hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.